Oh, he's playing, he's one of, I think, the hardest guys in the league to guard, Rick. One-on-one, his speed and quickness and the ability to pull up on a dime to get his shot is uncanny, and I just think that he's playing at all-time level right now. I think he's playing with a big chip on his shoulder to prove to the league that he belongs, and he does, in my eyesight, is one of the elite point guards in the league.
When you use the expression pull up on a dime, 2 nights ago, I was talking to Quinn, and I said, is there one thing about Kemba that really sticks out? And he says, I've never seen anybody with such an ability to accelerate and stop totally suddenly. He says the way that he does that loses defenders in a vicious
heartbeat. And that's why he gets so many shots at the end of the games or whatever, because all at once you're trying to engage with his speed going north and south, and then boom, he's right up into his jump shot anywhere from the three-point line, and don't let him be coming downhill at you going toward the basket. Now he still can do the same thing, so that's what makes him so difficult, and that's what I'm talking about when I say he can pull up on a dime at any point. That's old Kentucky saying.
He's a guy. Sorry. When you talk about Kemba, Russ the other night, you got Derrick Rose tomorrow, next week Kyrie, Steph. It seems like we're in quite the era in terms of point guard. Obviously, your own guy too.
Right. It's again, the point guard position has a challenge every night. Like you said, we just had Russell Westbrook, who I think is one of the most forceful guards in the league, doing what he does. Now you got Kemba Walker, who is one of the quickest guys in the league with the basketball. And then, like you said, next week we got Steph Curry. Then, we got Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving. So, it's a league of the point guard. And the way you defend that position, I think, because all of them can score, I think the key thing is at the point guard position is which point guard can guard the other one. And that way you don't have to put another guy on him to hide a guy. That tells me the value of the point guard position, because all those guys I name, including our guy, can score. But can you guard your position?
Well, and then to that point, you actually went with Corey then late in the game, a couple of nights ago against Russ.
Right. To give him a different look.
Been thinking Norm, and then you went with Corey.
He did a good job, and Corey's a point guard, and so, again, sometimes you have another point guard, and with this team they have Ramon Sessions, and that can guard multiple positions and guard that position. So I think you have to have that elite point guard plus a guy, that can guard that position.
Case, what makes Kyrie distinctive?
What makes Kyrie distinctive? Well, I think right now is his championship pedigree. I think his confidence level now is all-time high. He's playing with a tremendous amount of bounce in his step. He's one of the guys we just talked about. I think of all the point guards, he and Russell Westbrook probably finishing at the rim are probably two of the best as far as the point guard is concerned. Steph can get in there too, but his is more of a floater. But Kyrie is one of the best in the league at finishing at the rim. I mean, up and under, bump, he takes contacts and finish. And I read a story somewhere how much he worked on it as he was growing up with his dad, and how his dad made him work on that. So that makes him a little bit different than all, because all the rest of the guys can shoot, can score. He can shoot and score, but I don't know if they have the ability to score with either hand at the rim.
Do you expect Terrence to be able to go today?
We'll see. Both of them, he and JV both, worked yesterday, worked this morning, so it will be a game time decision with both of them.
Dwane, is this kind of like looking in the mirror defensively, a team kind of like you, built from the inside out and game planning basically against the style that you try to promote?
Yeah, it is. Defensively, Steve does a great job with his defensive, approach with his team. They pack the paint. They wanted to get you in a grinded out game, but at the same time, they have the ability, as we do, to run. Get out and run the floor, to push the ball, to play an early offense. They have a dynamic point guard, as we do, but both of us, we do believe in defense, and we try to get it done on the defensive end. So Steve doesn't get a lot of credit as far as for what he's done with this team over the last few years, and they do a great job defensively and offensively too.
Are you guys getting enough early offense for your satisfaction at this point?
Not a lot, not as much as we'd like to have. I don't know if we're going to really be considered an early offense team, just because the way we come down, the way our team is built. But,
You would like to take more advantage of transition.
Right, to transition, and I think the key with that is getting stops. You got to get stops to be able to do that. I think the hardest thing to do in this league is run out of the net after the team has scored on you. So, I'd like to run more and get more stops. So that's the same kind of.
It would work against your primary attack, which is DeMar and a little bit of ISO stuff. So it's a little bit of both give and take.
And that's the hard thing about, I hear people talk about playing fast. And again, you got to play to your personnel. It sounds good. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. But if people used to tell me at Minnesota, oh, you got to play fast, Well, guess what? Kevin Garnett's not going to be down there. And for us, DeMar DeRozan's not going to be down there. So you better be constituted where your wings and your point guard are your primary guys. If not, your star is going to be somewhere mad at you and not touching the ball. So you can play fast, but there's a happy place that you can play where your main guy is involved.